Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. I'm looking forward to doing this one. This one was requested of me by CSpray on YouTube. So if you're familiar with him, go over and check out his channel. Give him a sub. His collection is mental, absolutely crazy. He's also the main admin of the Transformers Addicts group on Facebook. So really, really good friend of mine, really cool dude. He requested this one off me, so I'm happy to do this. We're going to be taking a look today at Generation 1 Ramjet.
Okay, so here is Ramjet in his basic form. Being a Seeker, they all had exactly the same basic body design. The only difference was either the amount of accessories they came with or the colour or styling of the accessories they came with. Thrust was the one who came with the most accessories, I think. Well, definitely out of the second run of Seekers, which was 1985. Speaking of which, is exactly where Ramjet here came from. So we'll put them together in play mode, but first of all, we'll take a look at all the accessories that Ramjet came with. First of all, he came with one tech spec decoder, which I don't have the box for it, sadly. Focus, you fucker. I don't have the box, sadly, but I've got a tech spec decoder, so, you know, that would have been used on the back of the box. He came with one instruction booklet in the good old G1 style, showing you exactly how to put the whole thing together if you were an absolute moron. And we'll go through that in a minute, well, basically the steps for it. But yeah, this gives you an example of the accessories that he came with. But I'll talk about them all individually because I love wasting time, especially yours. Two wings. Left and right wings, molded specifically for this particular character. Dirge's wings were different, Thrust's wings were different. So yeah, that's two of those. Left and right tail fin to go on top of the wings. The stickers on these aren't actually too bad. I did repro-label Ramjet a few years back. As you can see, there's a little bit of tearing just on that one there. But yeah, mostly it's in good condition. It came with left and right fists. Now, in terms of the... let's try and get this in focus a little bit. In terms of Seekers, the second generation Seekers, well, 1985 Seekers, all their accessories, like their hands, and the hands were all molded black. So if you lost one, you could always swap it out for like another Conehead Seeker, and no one would know the difference. It came with two weapons, which can either attach, like sort of cluster bombs, which can either attach to under the wings or attach to his arms. So that's his signature weapons right there. And lastly, but definitely not least, Ramjet, like all the Seekers, came with this piece here, which is the landing gear for under the nose cone. Now, I picked up a whole bunch of these back in 2000 and something. I got them off eBay, and they were like sort of... I didn't buy them all in one go. I got them like sort of separately over different deals and that. These were going like $7.99. Just for this one part alone. So I dread to think on the eBay market what these things are worth now. But yeah, $7.99. I picked up about 3 or 4 of them. So all my Seekers have got landing gears, which is one thing, you know, is very, very difficult to lay claim to. So we're gonna put Ramjet together now. These little ones here plug into the top of the wings. However, because he's a Seeker body, there is still holes just here. Focus would be good, thank you. There's still holes just here where the other tail fins for the other Seekers actually went, so they didn't bother filling those in or changing them or anything like that. The stickers are pretty good. I mean, I did film this once already, and I've decided to redo it because he was a little bit dusty and dirty just around here, so I cleaned him up with a couple of Q-tips. I bought some Pritt stick glue, and I glued down this sticker just here and this one just here, which looks like it wants to peel away again already. But, you know, if it can stay there for the purpose of this review, I'm happy. After that, it can do what it fucking wants. But yeah, so the stickers are in remarkable condition. When I first got Ramjet, he was bone white. He is yellowing a tiny, tiny little bit. There's nothing I can do about that. But then again, this is an original figure, so I'm surprised I got it in a condition, such good condition as I did. I don't remember what I paid for Ramjet. He might have been in the region of about £20 to £30, but he was complete except for the landing gear. Speaking of which, so we're going to attach the landing gear to the underside just here, and then that will allow the body to actually stand up like that. Okay. Then we're going to attach the tail fins to the wings just here. Let's get those the right way around so the stickers are on the outside. One like that. One like this. And then we could just go ahead and attach the cluster bombs to the underside, which is just like this. One like that. Same with the other one. And then just plug in the left and right wings into their corresponding holes. So it actually looks like a plane. And there we are. That is Ramjet needs tidying up, but that is Ramjet in his alt mode. And I had Ramjet and Starscream as a kid. I didn't have any of the other Seekers, so I've got a special soft spot for this mold. It, by today's standards of what they can do with masterpieces and what they've done with classics and like other variations of the Seekers, this design hasn't aged particularly well. I mean, you can see all the gaps and everything like that from the wings and like the rocket section right at the back. So, I mean, the design hasn't aged particularly well, but it's a fucking classic. And despite the fact that essentially the Seekers are parts formers and therefore fucking ridiculous, I really dig this. I've always loved the Seeker mold, despite its many limitations and flaws. I would really like this to focus. There we go. I think I might zoom out a little bit just to... there we go. There we go. So, yeah, so he's far from perfect. He cleans up very well underneath. The mold itself, the design is far from perfect, but considering when it came out, this is fucking brilliant. It's the colours are really good on it. The sort of, how can I put this? The overarching theme with the Conehead Seekers was the black motif, and then so every one of them's got a black chest, a black cone just here, and like sort of black accessories, black hands, and things like that. So that was their one defining like sort of feature that sort of separated them from the original Seekers. This and the fact that to properly differentiate it and to call it a cone head, you miss out one step of the transformation, which makes it look fucking stupid. But if that was the best they could come up with, oh, it's a different character just because you don't do the final step of the transformation. Sure, do you know what? Fine, whatever. It worked at the time, doesn't necessarily work now. But you know, you do you, basically. And you know, I can't really say a lot else about it apart from the fact that I'm, you know, I try to take care of my collection now, not like I was when I was a kid, but I am still surprised that this is still in such good condition. I don't really tend to fuck around with my G1s that much, but when I do, this is one of the ones that I find it very difficult to put down, which is probably one of the reasons why these stickers were starting to peel, which were rep labels back when they were called rep labels and not toy hacks. It's awkward. This is awkward, but it looks amazing. There's something like almost lightning in a bottle with in terms of this design. It's been emulated, it's been adapted, it's been developed from here, but always going back to the original. You have to take the hat off to them and go, do you know what? For the limitations you had at the time and everything like that, you did a fucking bang up job, and this is a testament to that, especially in being such amazing condition. So we're going to take it to robot mode, I think. Yeah, why not? So we're going to start by detaching the cluster bombs, just like this, and then detaching the landing gear. This actually has another function, which I will come on to in a minute. Start by folding down these two sections just here. That will form the feet, and that's basically pretty much the legs done. Actually, you can take the wings off because I tend to put them in a different position for robot mode. Then we are going to take the whole cockpit and nose section and bring it forward. Then with your thumb, push through this middle section just here. That will separate it at the back, spin them round, and that will form the arms. And then the nose cone, crack that away from the cockpit, fold it underneath, stick it straight through the gap you've just made, and then bring the whole assembly round and then lift up the head. Now, normally, the final step of the transformation would be to bring that nose section back like this. But being a cone head, that's the step of the transformation you don't do. So he's got this unimaginably massive fucking head on a small body. So what we'll do, let's put his accessories in. Left and right hands, just clip them on. Just like that. Stick the wings, let's bring that back down a little bit. Stick the wings back in the opposite direction so they fit like that. stick the cluster bombs on the corresponding sections on his arms, and that'll be his signature robot mode weapons. And then, to not lose this fucking piece here, and sometimes what happens is the Seeker design, the hinge just there, which brings this bit round, tends to get a little loose. So even though the weight's at the top, it always tends to swing back a little bit like that. It's happening on a couple of mine. So what I tend to do is open the cockpit, put this section in here, close the cockpit back up, and it adds as a little bit of extra weight to it to bring it back down. And ladies and gentlemen, that right there, bring it out just a little bit more. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Generation 1 Ramjet. And as I said, you know, the design isn't perfect, especially by today's standards. It's a bit clunky. It's a little bit awkward looking. Fundamentally, by today's standards, you could call this a little bit shit. But it's amazing. I mean, there's hardly any paint chipping on it. In fact, I don't think there is any paint chipping on it. There's still a bit of dust in there that I didn't get out. Let's take one of these Q-tips and just do that quickly. See, this is the sort of behind the scenes stuff that you're not supposed to see. But do you know what? Whatever. I'm not perfect. It could be described as shit by today's standards, but I love this. I've always loved this design. I've always loved the Seekers. And to have one like this in such remarkable condition, yes, the white plastic is going a little bit yellow, very, very faint, but it's not as bad as some examples of this that I've seen. And sadly, my one broke when I was little, but you know what? All my Transformers broke because I was a heavy-handed cunt. But this here is a fantastic example of exactly what this toy was supposed to be. There's not really a lot more I can say about it than that. As I said, by today's standards, I appreciate that, yeah, it doesn't really hold up as well as you hoped it would, unless you're looking at it with severe fucking nostalgia glasses, which I am. But I am the first one to admit, as much as I love my G1 collection, the G1 toys, by modern standards, and even by their standards back in the day, some of them were fucking shocking. But I still maintain that, it could be another 40 years and I still have this figure. And, by 40-year standards, who knows how far toy technology will be or anything like that. And I will still hold this one up as a shining example of excellence for the time that it was released in. So, yeah, ultimately, I still dig this. I still think it's fucking excellent, even though it's far from perfect. I still think it's awesome. So there we are. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my review on Generation 1 Ramjet. This is for CSpray 717. Go and check out his channel on YouTube. Give him a watch. If you like what he does, give him a sub. And if you're a Transformers fan and not part of the Transformers Addicts group on Facebook, then maybe think about heading over there and joining that group. He's the head honcho of that group. He's a dude. I think the world of him. And CSpray, this one was for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this review. This is Gerald Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I will be back at some point in the near future with more reviews, more 7 Days to Die, more other bullshit that I'm going to bring to the channel, some of which you've seen before, some of which you haven't. Yeah, there's not really a lot else to say apart from that's cool, and I'm cool for owning it. So, thank you very much for watching, and take care.